Hi, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com, and today I'd like to share with you some outside-the-box ideas that I created using the contents of the October 2018 Paper Pumpkin Kit from Stampin' Up, titled Friends of a Feather. This kit came straight to my mailbox and contained all the papers, envelopes, adhesives, die cuts, ribbons, and sequins that I need to make 4 of each of these stunning cards. In fact, this mini publication with photos, written directions and tips, details, and a link to a how-to video was included to help guide me in assembling. I also received this stamp set and a mini ink pad, both of which I'll be able to use over and over again, even after the consumables from this kit are used up. All I need to provide is my clear block to mount and use my stamps, and this one came free in my first kit, and my scissors. It's a whole bunch of fun. These kits are only $19.95 plus tax per month. Shipping is included. You can control which months you get your kits, and there's no commitment or obligation. They even have fun, special boxes once in a while. This one was last month's kit, and this one is coming up for November. They come from Stampin' Up, so the colors and images and supplies coordinate with many other Stampin' Up products. I'll be using some of these coordinating products and a few extra supplies as I share my unique projects. You can find these items listed below and linked to my online store. You can also look below for links to learning more about Paper Pumpkin Kits, starting your subscription through me so I can spoil you with exclusive ideas, gifts, and prizes, and joining my Paper Pumpkin fan club on Facebook, where you can see even more alternate project ideas shared daily. If you're watching my video on YouTube, look below for the link that will lead you to my website where I've shared close-up photos of what I'll be sharing today. I'm excited to create with you, so let's get started. Throughout my video, you're going to see substitute products. I do love to use my snail adhesive. It's quick. It's quicker than adding the glue dots, but I do use the glue dots and I use the dimensionals. This is just an added adhesive that is not necessary, but I love. And then I also use my large ink pads instead of the Stampin' Spots because it's quicker to ink up. And instead of using the block that came with my first kit for free, I do use the ergonomic ones that we have in the online store. They come in different sizes, and that way I have lots of blocks, lots of stamps ready to use. So why make alternate projects, especially with a kit that has cards that are this gorgeous? Well, first of all, I love being creative. I love thinking outside the box, and I love to see what my brain can do with the products that come in these kits. So it's a passion of mine. Plus, I think that there's a lot of subscribers out there that don't always love every single kit, and so it's nice for them to see different project ideas, different cards, different projects, different scrapbook pages even, using the kit contents. So that's why I love making these videos. The first project that I'm going to make for you is a card, and it's an alternate card. I'm going to be using this card base here, the crumb cake one that's larger, the navy oval, one of these label pieces, doesn't matter which one, and a couple little branches, including the navy little tiny branch. I'll use the adhesives, of course, plus my snail, a couple stamps from the kit, my ink, the Night of Navy ink pad, and I'm bringing in a product called Basic Adhesive Back Sequins, because you are going to run out of those sequins if you are crazy in love with glittery things like me. So I brought in a few extra sequins, and I think that these sequins really coordinate well with the colors in the kit. This is the, I don't know, it's kind of a brownish color. It matches really well with the crumb cake here, but it actually comes with a variety of different colors, and so we're just going to use that one. Let's go ahead and start. We're going to start by stamping this label piece with our Night of Navy ink, and the image that looks like a couple different little leaves stuck together. And this image actually fits onto this label piece very well. We're going to stamp off 3 times though, stamping off, or we're going to call it 4th generation stamping. So we're going to stamp off once, twice, 3 times, and then we're going to come in onto the label with the 4th generation of ink, which is a lot lighter. Let's turn that ink around, that stamp around, and do it again. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll stamp it right down. Hopefully we can get it even. And there we go. Now we have a nice little decorated label similar to this side, only just navy instead of multicolor. And then we'll put our sentiment in the middle. This one says, "May hope make you feel lighter." We'll stamp that right here. I always mount my stamps onto my blocks kitty wampus, so that I'm not using the edges of my block to eyeball where the stamp goes. Instead, I use what's underneath. I use this edge here and this edge here. So if you are distracted by the edges of your clear block, then just mount your stamp so that it's not straight. Okay, so now that we have those pieces, we're gonna flip this one over. You actually have a ton of white feathers and white little branch pieces if you flip them over. You also have white ovals and white labels, as you can see. So this piece is going to be taped down directly onto my card base, and you'll see now why I love using the snail. It's a lot quicker than putting multiple glue dots on the back of this, right? Okay, and so that's going to go down in the lower right-hand corner. I'm using the card horizontally instead of vertically like the sample card in the kit. And then this piece is just going to tuck underneath. So we're going to stick a glue dot on the end of that. And I think I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, because this is really nice. I forgot to mention this. This is a great basic tool for lifting up these glue dots. I love it. So we'll just pick that up like that and stick that on the back side here. And then we can pick off the backing on it. And now we have the glue dot on there, and we can just tuck it underneath. And if you want to, you can put even more glue dots behind the leaf areas of that branch. We'll just set that like that. And then this one is going to go down like this. So we'll go ahead and add a few more glue dots on the back side of that, which is actually the front side, but we're going to make it the back side. And it looks like it's coming out of the base of our navy oval. This we're going to pop up with dimensionals. And then we're going to add a few sequins. And here is the finished version. I have a couple other ideas though with this card. So let's say you want to do dark navy ink on the leaf borders and put a light color of navy on the inside for the sentiment. So you could stamp that off instead of the leaves and you get that look instead. Or you can just take the label as is, stamp it in the middle, and have it look like that. So just a couple different versions. I'm now going to take that card that we just made and use that for inspiration for making a box. So we're going to take the arm of our trimmer and we're going to lift it up, and there is a measuring mark here on the right side. Let me zoom in so you can see that. It's at 1 1/4 inches, and that's all the way over to this line here. So we're going to put our paper, our card base, in here right up to that mark, and we're going to move the cutting blade out of the way, and we're going to score like that. We're going to flip it around, do the same thing to the other side. And now we're going to position our paper in this way so that the score line that's already created in the card base that we got is at the 1 1/4 inch mark here. You can use the measurements up on top as a guide, and we're going to score this way. And then we're going to flip it around the other direction and bring this middle crease line to the 2 1/4 inch mark using the guide up here. And we're going to put some cuts into the outer edges. So we're going to use our cutting blade now, and we're going to start where this score line here is. We're going to press it down and push it up and away. And then we're going to come over here, do the same thing. We're going to press it down and push it up and away. And then with the scissors, you can just snip along those score lines to remove these outer rectangles. And then you're going to go into these areas here. So this crease mark with the snips, and this one. And then you can just give it a little bit of an angle here on the inside piece, just so it's easier to assemble. Don't have to worry about bulk, things not lining up right. Some people call this mitering. I want to give credit to Julie Davison. She is the demonstrator that gave me this fun box idea in the first place. She did this years ago with another decorative card base, and I had to, of course, replicate it over and over again. I've loved it ever since. So now we're going to bring these pieces in, and these are going to come up, and these are going to come back. And we have a beautiful decorative gift box. We're going to adhere those pieces together with some strong adhesive. So I added some tear and tape adhesive to the inside of the box at the base of these two sections and along the sides of these two sections. I'm going to start by peeling up and away the backing on this tape. I've added that tear and tape adhesive to the ends of a 10-inch piece of the ribbon that comes in the kit. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the backings and wrap this around the box. And it's okay if they don't meet, because we're going to cover that up with another little oval. I've stamped this piece with the Get Well sentiment. That's going to pop up with dimensionals. Actually, you know what? I think we'll just put that down like that. We'll see. Okay, and then I've got my branches ready to go. I'm going to use the white side once again on the large piece and on the small piece. And this is going to come from the base like we had before. And this one's going to come from the base over here. This whole thing is going to get popped up with dimensionals on the front. You know what? I do like that flat. So we're going to go ahead and just add that flat to the front. And we're going to tuck under some sequins from the kit. And I'm just kind of centering this in the grid paper here to make sure that this is nice and even. And then we'll grab a couple of the sequins and slip those underneath the corners here. Just so there's a little touch of gold peeking out on either end. And here is a fun little box of goodies then to give to someone who is on the mend. I was actually trying to find a little container of Kleenex and little tissues to put in here, but I found these beautiful little soaps instead. So I stuck one of those in there with a cold season packet of tea. I love that we have a Get Well sentiment in this stamp set. And right now I'm going to make a funny little cutesy Get Well project geared towards a child instead of an adult. I hope you get a kick out of it. So we're going to use the feather, the large orange feather that comes in this kit, and we're going to turn it upside down to have the white side showing. We're going to stamp on this little tiny banner piece with Fresh Fig, which is a coordinating color with the kit. On the back side of the brochure that you get, or the pamphlet that you get with these kits, it lists the colors that coordinate. So we're going to ink up the Get Well stamp and stamp that right here in that purple color ink. And we'll set that aside for just a minute. And then we're going to pull out a couple punches. This one is definitely worn away. I need to replace that. It's our 2-inch circle punch. It does say 2-inch on there. You can't read it. And this is our 1-inch circle punch. We're going to punch those circles from some pieces of Whisper White and Coastal Cabana. And again, on the back side of the pamphlet, the little flyer, the direction sheet I should say, it lists coordinating colors down here. So we have Coastal Cabana, we have Fresh Fig, Crumb Cake, Cajun Craze, Grapefruit Grove, Night of Navy. And so let's go ahead and start by applying this little piece here, and we're going to stick it down about halfway on an open envelope that has not been bent at the score line. And then we just trimmed off the excess there. And we're going to punch out a couple of these large circles. So now we have 2 large circles and we have 2 smaller Coastal Cabana circles. We're going to add the Coastal Cabana circles to the white ones. We are creating eyeballs. And then we're going to come in with our sequins. What I did next is I put some glue dots on the back side of this feather, and I'm going to remove the backing. From the glue dots on just the lower half, and I'm going to apply this. Actually, first I have to trim this off here. Hang on. There we go. And I'm going to apply this little piece here to the envelope. And then I'm going to come in and trim off all the feather piece parts that are beyond the base of the envelope. So I'm just going to follow the line, the curvature of the envelope. And then we're going to remove the backing of the glue dots on this piece. And I'm going to line that back up with the feather that is already positioned on the envelope, but it's going to attach to the inside. So this will now open up so that we can put a cookie in there or a gift card or something. And then we're going to add the eyeballs. Next, I'm going to take and apply these leaf pieces. I've already placed glue dots on the back side, and I'm going to add those to my fun little monster. And the nice thing about these leaves is they do curve around because they're so thin through there, so you can shape them to that eyeball shape. Next, we'll add the little sentiment down below. After I put the Get Well little sentiment on here and added these leaves, I thought, oh gosh, they look like little tiny dinosaur arms. So my monster has tiny little arms now. Those are the little arms right there. And our treat pouch is done. So you just open it up here at the mouth and you can put, I don't know, a cookie, a little packaged up cookie in there to give to somebody who is recovering from an illness or a surgery. Or if you wanted to get healthier, you could put a little packet of nuts in there. Of course, gift cards, you know, especially to video game type things is always welcome. So any kind of little gift in there that fits would be appropriate to give to a child who is recovering and trying to get well. When I saw these cards in the kit, these little trifold cards, I knew that I wanted to make something 3D that light could shine through from this side to show off the beautiful detailed laser cut feather images here. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of this copper glitter paper from our holiday catalog and cut it to size to fit along the back side here. So one sheet is 6 inches wide, so we're going to go ahead and cut it in 2 pieces. It's actually easier on your blade if you cut upside down with the glitter paper. So we have 3-inch wide pieces here, so we're making like a little back panel here. And if this piece is slightly over 3 1/4 and we cut it to 3 inches, then we want to go about 3/8 inch smaller on this end. So that's just slightly over 4 1/2 at the 4 5/8 inch mark. So we'll do that for each of these. When you have these glitter papers on the back, it's really going to make that light shine. So we're just going to line the 2 back panels with these pieces here. And then we're going to bring in a stapler and we're going to attach these 2 together here. Now this glitter paper, if you don't attach it really well, can come off. So I added a little bit extra adhesive. If you have a tea light that is lit by flames, you'll want to make sure that it's in a glass like that so it does not have the flame directly heating up the paper. Much safer would be a battery operated tea light to put in there. So now let's go ahead and decorate this up so we can hide the staples. So I just used the glue dots in the kit to attach these little leaf pieces and the big feather, and then I put a few sequins on here. And of course, once you place the little tea light inside and you turn off the lights, it's going to make such a nice design on the walls. It's gonna be so pretty. I've heard a couple people tell me that this design is a little bit too busy for them. So the simple solution to that is to just take your card base and cut off this front layer so that you have, instead of this, you have just this, which is still a card ready to go, right? So then we can take some of the elements of the kit and we can do a little fun design on the front. So let's go ahead and tack those down. I think we'll make a thinking of you card. I've added the feathers to the front using the glue dots, and I have another little branch piece here that is the Night of Navy color. We're just going to slip that in and behind here like that. Give it a touch of navy so that we can use our navy ink. And we'll stamp the thinking of you onto our fun little strip of white, which we will pop up with dimensionals. You have a couple other designs on your stamp set that are great for the fun corners of this strip. So we're going to use one of those designs and stamp that on the ends here. Like that. We'll pop that up with dimensionals. And remember those sequins that we had that were extra outside of the kit? You could get those in the online store, the adhesive back sequins. We're going to pull those in right now and add some of these fun iridescent looking ones. And then the last step is to flip it over and to trim off the excess. And there we have a very simple, less busy, finished card. Now that you've watched my video, I hope you can see that there's so much more to these kits than meets the eye. With just a few extra supplies and some imagination, you can go beyond and make so much more with these super affordable kits. I hope you got some inspiration from what I've shared. Thank you for watching. It builds creativity to think outside the box. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can catch more paper pumpkin videos that I've shared using past kits and more that I'll share with future kits. Also, be sure to visit my website at stampyourartout.com so that you can view close-up photos of these projects, see photos of other paper pumpkin kit ideas in future and past posts, and see many other great ideas that I share using Stampin' Up! Products. You'll find these links in my description below. And to get spoiled with extra goodies like gifts, prizes, and extra exclusive paper pumpkin project ideas, get your subscription started with me as your demonstrator. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.